Hate them or love them, but lightboxes are still one of the most efficient ways to grow your list. But that doesn't mean you can just put any old lightbox on your website. You still want to make sure that the moment that it appears, it captures the attention of your visitors. And that is why in this tutorial, I want to show you how to create a really good looking lightbox that will stand out and that will make people stop from scrolling and stop from clicking that close button immediately. The type of lightbox that we will create is what I like to call an out-of-the-box lightbox. And you can see an example of it right here. As you notice, you can see that the guy that is looking down at the opt-in form is outside of the actual opt-in form. And I'm going to show you how you can create just this with Thrive Leads. Now, the first thing you'll want to do is make sure that you have an image that has a very plain background so that you can easily remove that background. If you don't have your own image, you can go on a website like Unsplash and search for an image that is related to your topic. In this case, I looked for something that was pointing down or looking down, and I found this image right here. When you click on it, you can download it for free. And in this case, you can just download the small image because you won't need it as a big image for your opt-in form. From here, let's go to the website Remove Background. So remove.bg. And we can simply upload the image. This is a really cool website that allows you to remove the background from almost any image. And that's exactly what we want here. We want to have that transparent background. Now, it will be a little bit more difficult when the background isn't super clearly defined, but as you can see here, the result is actually really, really good. So we can just download this image now. From here, let's go to our website and go to Thrive Leads. From here, we can create a new lead group. So add new, and let's call this out of the box. This new lead group will allow us to create any type of opt-in form we want, and we will be able to target it specifically to certain sites of the website. So we will be able to target this to a specific category on the website, for example. And right now, the opt-in form that I'm going to use is the Lightbox. As you can see, you can create different types of opt-in forms, and some of them would still work really, really well with this out-of-the-box idea. But the one I'm going to show you is the Lightbox. So let's click on that and add a new form. Create the form and give it a name. So this is looking down. Now, the reason that we create a form here is because it will allow us to A/B test different variations of this form if we want to. As you can see here, we can choose the trigger and the display frequency. So displays immediately on page load, that's fine. And every 7 days, that's also fine. So let's edit this design. This brings us to our Lightbox editor and allows to choose one of the templates. Now for this, I'm actually going to start completely from scratch, but as you can see, there are a whole bunch of templates that you can choose from to start your opt-in form. Let's go with this blank template, because I will show you how easy it is to make a completely customized opt-in form with Thrive Leads. So right here, the first thing that I want to do is add our image on there. So add an element, and then let's drag our image and put it in this background section. And here I already uploaded the image without the background, so let's select this and insert it in the post. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to add a content box underneath this image, and you'll soon see why I'm doing this. And in the content box, I want to have the title. So let's put a text element in there, and let's make this heading 2. And then I'm also going to add an opt-in form. So let's search for forms and choose a lead generation form. From here again, I have the possibility to choose from different templates for the opt-in form. So you can choose contact forms, application forms, opt-in forms. In this case, we want to make it an opt-in form, but as you can see, this is super versatile. So it's really up to you to choose. Let's pick this one. But now you might think, well, Hannah, this still looks like a box. You promised me an out-of-the-box opt-in form. Well, let me show you how to do that. First of all, let's make this image a little bit smaller. Let's drag it. And then we want to make sure that there is no space between the image and this content box. So in the breadcrumbs, you make sure that you have the image selected, and from there, layout and positioning, you can see there's a 20 pixel margin there, and let's put this to 0. Now let's do the same with our content box and also remove this padding. So as you can see now, this jumped and it looks like this guy is sitting on top of our content box. Let's make this even a bit more clear. Select our Thrive Leads element, and this is where the magic happens. We're actually gonna make this background style transparent. So click on background style, go to the color, and then here you can just drag this transparency to make it completely transparent. Now, because the background of this editor is dark gray, you can see that everything became dark gray. And that is why we added this content box in here, because now we can select our content box, do the same thing, add a background style, and then we can add a normal layer. And if we want to add a color white, the code for that is FFF 6 times, or we can just drag this to white and then make sure that this is completely solid. So again, I use this slider to make it solid. Now apply. All right, so as you can see, we already have the effect that we want. This guy is standing outside of our box. Now you might notice that here we have our close button that is still in the top corner of this original lightbox. Now you might or might not want this. This is really up to you, but I personally don't think it's a good experience if people have to search for the close button. So what I would do is actually drag this one and put it inside our content box. And then we can still, in the layout and positioning, reposition it a little bit. So in advanced, you can see here, let's reposition this so that it's actually in the corner of this new box that we created. Now let's add our text. And for this first one, the free guide, I'm actually going to put this as a paragraph. Use the options here to put everything in capital letters, and then the letter spacing, make that a little bit bigger. So this makes for this cool effect on the text. Center align it, and I'm going to add another text element underneath, where we'll add our heading. Let's also center align this. And then to make sure that the text really stands out, the thing that we want is get high paid photo shoots, right? So I'm gonna highlight get you high paid photo shoots. And simply click here on the color in the main options and change this to our brand color. Then the last thing we have to do is connect this opt-in form to our email provider. So first of all, let's also change the color of this button and change the text. So in order to change the text on this button, we will want to click on Edit Form Elements. And let's say, download the free guide. And now let's connect this form. So when you are using Thrive Suite, you can go into the backend of your website, go into your dashboard, your Thrive dashboard. And from here, you can connect any API service that you are using. So when you go to your API connections, you will be able to add your email service right here. So as you can see, I have several email services connected because this is my demo website. Probably you'll only have one. You'll just have MailChimp or ActiveCampaign or whatever other connection it is. And if you need to add a new connection, you can just click on this and select the service that you want from within this list. Now, once you've done that, and this is easy, and also we have tutorials for each one of these services on how to set this up. So don't worry, it should only take a couple of minutes and you only have to do this once. But once you do this, you can then here, when you select your lead generation form, simply click on the add a new connection and then choose your connections from the list. So in this case, I want to add this to ActiveCampaign. And I can choose which list, and I can even add tags to make sure that people get correctly tagged in my email service. So let's apply and save the work. So that's it. That's how easy you can create one of these out-of-the-box opt-in forms with Thrive Leads. Now there's one last thing I want to show you, and that is how to make sure that this also looks good on mobile. So let's go back to our editor, and then from here, click on the mobile icon. So now what we can do is we can maybe select this image, make it a little bit smaller, and then do the same with this text, make the text, the font a bit smaller, which then will allow us to have a form that is more appropriate for mobile. So let's save this. Now, the last thing you need to do to actually show this form on your website is choose where it will be shown. So in Thrive Leads, you can see our out-of-the-box lead group here, and you can see that there is this icon, this red icon telling you that it's not set up yet. So let's click on these display settings. And now you can either choose whether you want to show this opt-in form on all your blog posts, all your pages of your website, or just on certain pages, certain blog posts. And in this case, I would set this up to show on the category modeling on my website, because that is where it's the most relevant. So just go to categories, and then here you can see the categories that you have on your website, and you can click the one where you want this to show. And then let's make sure we switch the toggle on desktop. And if you want to show this form on mobile, you can switch this on. Now, because we made it mobile responsive, we can actually do that. But if you prefer not to have a lightbox on mobile, you can also leave it switched off here. That's totally up to you. So that's it. That's how we made an out-of-the-box opt-in form in Thrive Leads. Now I want to hear from you. Did you like this tutorial? Are there any other opt-in forms that you've seen around the web and that you really would like me to show you how to recreate it in Thrive Leads? Simply leave them down in the comments below and I'll help you out. And if you are an online entrepreneur, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on the bell so that you're notified when we publish new videos.